What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the North Shore 9 Postgame Show, brought to you by Primanti Bros. I'm Neil. I'm here with Doug. Doug, the Pirates lose another one to the Cubs, 3-2. They drop to 28-42 on the season. How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm just swell, just swell. You know, I hate the Cubs. They are my least favorite team. I hate losing to them. I
Yeah.
hate losing to them the way we've lost them like the past 3 years. Not even remotely competitive. They just take our lunch money, and it's just awful, just awful.
Yeah, no, we'll get to this after the ad break too, but I don't ask the chat for much, but please start spamming these happy birthdays for our boy Doug here. We all love Dougie
In lieu of
Fresh.
hashtag raise it, how about
Yeah,
happy
yeah,
birthday,
yeah. We can't have sandwiches,
'Cause
so instead we're gonna celebrate Doug's birthday. So everyone wish him a happy birthday,
thank you,
for
Paul. I
everything that
appreciate
he
it.
does. You
107 today. So
don't look a day over 105.
thank you. I look good for 107, right?
But before we get into the actual game, we're going to tell you about our friends from BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. With baseball season in full swing, we're deep into the NBA and NHL finals, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting odds while the games are being played. We keep the dog days of summer rolling with the largest selection of odds on everything. With updated odds on MLB, UFC, and boxing, to tennis and NFL futures, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. So, let's continue off of what Doug said before we hit into the game because there's a lot of, I feel like we're going to talk a lot of what we've already said before about this team, about this game. But you're right. Like, I used to look forward to playing the Cubs because I hate the Cubs. I despise this team. They're
I'm
like
right
kind
there
of
with you.
1B with me and the Cardinals. And so just this continued losing to this terrible team in that awful stadium with the worst fans who always shout at the stupidest, dumbest pop flies, it pisses me off. Like
Yeah, well,
even in our Discord, people are saying I hate seeing Cubs fans be happy, and I agree. That was the worst part is seeing all these
is it
happy Cubs fans.
my hatred for them is that they've always had, most of my life the Cubs have sucked, right? They've
Mhm.
always had all the advantages though. They were in a big city. They're in a stadium that people love. It's a dump, but people love it and they sell out. They had their own television station. They were owned by the Chicago Tribune, the Wrigley Company, and they squandered it, right? They just were terrible. They were terrible. They were terrible, and we beat them all the time. I mean, I moved there in '88, and the first Pirates game I ever saw, other than a spring training game in Nashville against the Cleveland then Indians, was Pirates Cubs, where Ronald Reagan threw out the first pitch. That
Really?
was my first game in July of 1988. Pirates won that game. They won all the time against the Cubs. Sid Bream, Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla, Vince, like everybody had a 400 lifetime average. Bob Walk started out his career 10-0 against the Cubs. We just owned them. And right, the Cubs fans were always delusional. At that time, the Cubs were in first place on June 1st more than any other team in the division. But they called it the June swoon. They had it every year. Like I said, their fans every year thought they were going to win. They were awful. But that's now kind of turn around on us, and we are the very terrible team, and they're
Yeah.
not actually that good, but we make them look like the 1927 Yankees, who I saw
I
swept. I saw these 27 Yankees sweep the Pirates in the World Series. At the time, it was tough to take, but now looking back
Mm.
and saying, "Well, that was a great team." So, but
And see,
yeah,
in my life, because I'm one of the younger guys on this team.
oh, that's right.
I've never been in an era where the Pirates have ever owned the Cubs. Like when I
Right.
was first getting into baseball, is when we're shipping Aramis Ramirez off to the Cubs for Bobby
For
Hill.
Bobby Hill. I would have preferred the Bobby Hill from King of the Hill.
Yeah,
You can't
Andrew
swing.
Bobby.
You can't get a hit if you don't swing the bat. I can get a walk. Don't play
Yeah,
lawyer
so
ball
like
with me, boy.
it is like going through the years, like the Coughlin incident, the plantar fasciitis thing. Like
Yeah.
I hate everything about this team, and so
Yeah.
but let's talk about the game. So
Yeah. Now,
Andrew,
I want to one more thing. I would like to say the Pirates are now 61-60 all time on my birthday, and I'm holding Jim Rosati responsible. I thought Tyler going to the game with Jim could sort of maybe mitigate the Rosati curse,
nope,
but
nope.
not even the good juju from my birthday and Tyler being there could make the difference. So, uh,
There's just that juju over like that stadium. It's just dumpster fire of a stadium.
yeah.
Wrigleyville's not even a good part of Chicago. Like, just tear it all down. Now, Andrew Heaney, poor guy. Poor Andrew Heaney, because he was not the best tonight. He was really, really sharp through 3 innings. I think, Greg Brown's already talking about perfect games after 3 innings. Like he sat down the first 9 Cubs. Then things got a little rocky for him. Gives up a home. Adam Frazier makes a really nice dive and play here in the fourth to save Spencer Horwitz. I don't know what the heck he was doing. Gives up a hit, and then PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, hits a home run. But it's fine,
No,
10
no, right.
runs.
These are talking points in this game. They have nothing to do with the loss. Andrew Haney pitched fine. He gave
Yeah.
the pitching staff all did their job. Andrew Haney gave us a chance to win. He had a quality start. The other guys came in, Matson, and we're going to get to him a little bit later. Everybody did fine. The defense was fine. All of this is on this horrid offense put together by this terrible general manager who is employed by this awful owner. And I don't even want to call him an awful owner for not spending money, but for employing the guy who does not know how to spend what little money he gives him. Tommy Pham got 4 at-bats in this. And I know I'm jumping ahead. I'm sorry, I'm frustrated, but Tommy Pham gets 4 at-bats in this game. He gets the last at-bat of the game. The guy cannot hit. At no point in this season has he been able to hit. At no point since about 2019 has he been able to hit. And you have guys on the bench. I don't care if they're any good. I'd rather see Paul Skeens pinch hit for Tommy Pham. And I've never seen Paul Skeens swing a bat. I don't care. I don't want Tommy Pham taking a significant at-bat in a game that you have a chance. And now we just keep running. So I know we're all excited. Donnie Ball, Donnie Kelly, all that sort of stuff. I don't know what he was thinking there. I think he has added some tangible things to this team that have helped, but that was the last 2 at bats for him were just horrible decisions. Horrible.
I was surprised Tommy Pham got the at bat there. I'm assuming is Canario healthy? Like, it seems like he got sent back to the shadow realm of like when he was first on the team, because
he's not allowed to play. I understand he slowed down a little, but he hasn't slowed down as much as Tommy Pham.
Not that I think that Canario gets a hit there, but I agree. I don't know why Tommy Pham gets the at bat with the bases loaded, 2 out, 1 out. Like it was.
Nick Gonzalez was on the bench.
It made no sense.
Brian Hayes.
Brian Hayes is not gonna.
No. But every single option on that bench was better than Tommy Pham. Every single one of them. The difference in the Pirates since Don Kelly has become manager is that almost all of the guys that were hitting 160 and 170 are now hitting 200 and 210. That's been the real difference, right? The positive regression, you've talked about it before. There hasn't been this, he hasn't sprinkled fairy dust on everybody and they all believe they can fly. They just, guys that were hitting 150, Triolo was hitting 130. He's getting a few hits now. Henry Davis was hitting 140. He's getting a few hits now. That's been what the difference is, but not Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham is still just going up there looking like a guy who has never played baseball. And he's getting at bats, and it's just absurd.
It's
You're
time to
right.
hang up the cleats.
Yeah. I mean, and if he's not ready to do that, it's time to usher him out the door. And it has been for quite some time. It's June 12th. It's not April 12th. It's not May. He's had
So
chances.
it's interesting you mentioned that because obviously this team is like especially when they sign free agents, they're not quick to like get rid of them. It's just not what they do.
No,
Um,
no, their
however,
internal
but
projections always, yeah.
however, if we're going off of comps, because let's talk about like a guy way back in the past, Yoshi, like just
Yeah.
Suzuka. I might be butchering his last name, but like he got $5 million. We were excited about it. He was DFA'd around this time because he was
Right.
this awful. You got Billy Cook in the minors. You got Nick York can technically play right field. Like his time's got to be almost up. I don't know
Yeah.
how you can keep
I mean, you
persisting with
got
this.
Canario. I mean, and Canario is no, again, I don't call any of these people saviors. I don't think any of them are going to make this huge difference. I think that they can hit 210 or 220, right?
Mhm.
That they can be better than Tommy Pham. Uh, Again, I'm not seeing, maybe it's subtle, maybe it's behind the scenes, but I'm not seeing his great leadership. Tommy Pham has had a nice career. Good for him. It's time to go. And they say sometimes the guys play until they take the uniform off you, and it's time, right? This is not Rowdy Tellez who turned it on in June, right? I mean, again, we're mid-June now, and it's 0 for 4. It's strikeouts. It's
Mhm.
non-competitive at bats. It makes no
It
sense.
yeah, and like it kind of shows us like how the fans have just like really gone away from this team to where Fam is way worse than Tellez, like you said.
Yeah.
Like and there's not even nearly as much care. Like he gets booed, but I mean Rowdy Tellez was getting everything dumped on him
Oh yeah,
in
yeah,
April, by like the end of April, and like so like it really is just crazy because like I think that might be I don't know like it just feels like Tommy Pham has been able to coast like he's kind of able to disappear for a lot of May, and
part of
now
it.
like he
Yeah, I think part of it though too is that the Pirates started out good last year.
yeah.
And then when they went in the slump, one of the guys you could point to was Rowdy Tellez. This team has
Mhm.
been awful all year, and for a long time, Pham was just one of many guys with sub 200 batting averages, sub 500 OPS. He's now at 197 with a 4.96 OPS. Jared Triolo has a 5.78 OPS. I mean, Jared Triolo, who cannot hit, has proven he cannot hit, and he's almost 100 points higher in OPS than Tommy Pham, a veteran, a crafty vet, who has played the game, blah blah blah, for so long. I
Yeah.
don't want to turn this into the Tommy Pham show,
Mhm.
and it's not Tommy Pham's fault. Ben Charrington, Ben Charrington, Ben Charrington. Bob Nutting, I don't, like I said, I don't care, if you sell the team. I don't care if you increase the payroll. I do care that you keep this clown employed who does not know how to identify hitters and doesn't, I mean, Charrington is following your lead. You don't know when to give up on your general manager. Your general manager doesn't know when to give up on awful players that aren't helping. And again, I don't think York or Cook or anybody's going to be great. I think they're better than Tommy Pham.
Yeah, I mean, and it really is just up to this roster construction to where, I don't really envy the choice of when you're looking down your bench and you're looking up the idea of going to Alexander Canario because your left fielder can't hit. Like it's not a fun choice. I wouldn't have given him two at bats. I wouldn't have given him that first at bat. I would have pinch hit him.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
very clear the Pirates don't really trust Canario to hit righties.
right.
Like that was consistent in Shelton era. That was consistent here with Don Kelly's era. It's clearly just something that they've come to the conclusion to that like this is not something they want. And but it can't be given Tommy Pham these at bats. I don't care if he's a seasoned veteran. He's hitting worse than Jack Sawinski. Like at some point,
Yeah.
you got
Right. At some point, you have to recognize that your internal projections had him hitting better than 197. Well, of
yeah.
course because anybody's internal projections would think, well, he'll hit 220, but he's not. He's had lots of at bats. He's had lots of opportunity. He's done, man. It's fine. He's done. It's okay. It's okay. You made a mistake, but don't compound the mistake. And this goes to again to Charrington, and it also goes on Don Kelly, unless it's possible that Don Kelly's hand is forced and that he has to, but I don't think Ben Charrington could have been holding a gun to my head and I'm pitch hitting for Tommy Pham and for his third at bat. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
just go ahead, shoot me, Ben.
I mean,
Because
like,
I can't abide this.
no, I just think it's very clear that like the Pirates are not ones that really move off their preset game plan. And that's where we got, and again, like I do like, all, and we're making this all about Pham, and rightfully so. Like Pham should not be on this team. But if we're going to continue with this offense, I mean, we're talking about, like, yes, it was bad that he got that at bat when the only time the Pirates were threatening to score in that inning, we got our 2 runs and we could have gotten more. But Jameson Taillon just destroyed us tonight. And I don't know about you, he was not that good.
No.
Like,
I mean,
good.
again,
Like,
this was easy to script at the start of the game. Former Pirates pitcher coming back and is going to have his I mean, the guy had like 7 strikeouts early on and only threw like 20 pitches. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it was like they just went up there windmilling away. And I love Jameson Tyson. I love his story. I love the way he's fought back, and I hate that he's on the Cubs because I want him to do well.
Me too.
But again, we have a tendency to give pitchers their career high in strikeouts, their season high in innings. We are the lineup that you get well against. If you're struggling, hey, Skip, just let me make these next 2 starts because I got the Pirates coming and I'll get back on track.
Yeah.
It's that sort of thing.
Yeah, and like Taillon was like, for 6 innings, he was in cruise control. The only 2 earned runs come in the 7th. Like he gets pulled after 6.1. I think Greg Brown said in the 5th that he had already tied his season high in strikeouts. Like at this point in his career, he's been through 2 Tommy John surgeries. He's not a big strikeout guy. That's not who he is. And
he's a crafty right-hander now. Yeah,
but you would have thought that he was like just dicing people up with like a ton of strikeouts looking. I mean,
this is the guy that we thought he was when we drafted him. Right? He was going to be a big power right-hander to go along with Garrett Cole.
Yeah, but like, and ultimately, it's the top of the lineup. Like Cruz, that's the problem today. Cruz 0 for 3 with the walk. McCutchen 1 for 4 with the hit. Reynolds 0 for 4. Horwitz 1 for 4 with a very, very generous double because Kyle Tucker misplayed the ball in left field. Right. 3 strikeouts by him. Like you're just going up and down, and like and this isn't good enough. Like, and we say this all the time, but like Reynolds has to be better. McCutchen, I'm not going to be on par with McCutchen. Kutch has carried the load. He can have a bad day.
Right.
Horwitz has to be better. Like Horwitz is consistently getting the cleanup spot, and he has a 602 OPS.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's not doing very well, and we have him in the heart of the lineup every game. I mean, we're back. We're at that point of the conversations. Like, all right, this guy needs to be batting 8th, but of course, there's nobody else to put in his place batting 4th or 5th or what have you. But no. I mean, Cruz needs to be better. I mean, Cruz is, his first strikeout was 83 miles an hour right down the middle, and then that strikeout with the bases loaded. When you got the bases loaded and you have your best hitters coming up, this team needs them to step up.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not going to defend the strikeout with the bases loaded because that ball should have left Wrigley Field. That was the most gifted slider you could have ever had on a silver platter. Like, I think I even joked in the Discord, like, Cruz was just so shocked at seeing how hung that pitch was that he missed it because he couldn't believe it. It was almost impossible to believe. Really rough game for him. Um, I think he's just really struggling with the fact that he doesn't have the line of protection that he needs. And so pitchers don't have to throw him any strikes. And I definitely think for a guy like who strikes out a lot like he does, it's going to result in him pressing. Like he wants to hit. He doesn't like he's done a really good job developing the walks. But like if you walk O'Neal Cruz in this lineup, that's a win. Like that is a win because no one's going to drive him in. And so I do think he's struggling with that.
Yeah, I mean, he's been struggling with the breaking stuff lately. He's kind of reverted back to his struggles against left-handers. He's still a work in progress. He is our by far our most dynamic player. He's playing center field much better. It looks much more smooth out there, much more confident. But we need more. I'm sorry, like
Mhm.
we can't have good O'Neal Cruz and have any success. We need great O'Neal Cruz. We need consistent O'Neal Cruz. We can't have him missing those pitches that he knows he should have crushed. Um, it's. I mean, it's similar with Reynolds. Reynolds is he's been better in June. Um,
Mhm.
but it's not been as good as it needs to be. These guys have to carry this team. It's nice that
Yeah.
we get some occasional production from IKF, and Adam Frazier has been better than anyone expected. Um, again, if Adam Frazier is the 26th man, I'm very happy. Um, at this point, he's just taking at bats away from people like York, um, who we need to find out what he can be. Kutch has Kutch is his best month is also June. So when two of your best players, their best month is June, it's like, hey, we've got to make, some hay while the sun shines. And we're not really doing that. We're mudding along 500-ish here
Mhm.
lately, but when you're 14 games under 500, hold and serve isn't going to be good enough. Now, like I said, I'm not expecting a playoff
Yeah.
run or anything. I would just like to avoid 100 losses and just
Mhm.
have the season be a complete and epic failure. Although that might be the best thing because maybe that's what will get the
Yeah.
clown show out of office.
Yeah, it might be the best thing. I'm never gonna cheer for the Pirates to lose, though.
No,
Like,
no, me
it's
neither. I
not my
want them to win
thing.
every single game. I
Yeah.
don't, I can't
And
help it.
this is just where I really run into my issues because, like, I'm looking down, going back to Andrew Heaney, because I do think he deserves a bit more of a discussion today, like, because he was solid. Like, again, how
Yeah.
many times do we have to say it? The Pirate starter gave the team a chance to win by the time he left. He is pitching, his ERA is now at 3.33. His career ERA is like a 4.24. He's pitching a full run better than his career. On top, like it's like, and like he's getting more run support than say Mitch Keller is, but like this still isn't. He's still 1-4 in terms of record. Bailey
Right.
Falter, this is actually a really fun stat. Bailey Falter is the only starter that has a winning record on this team. But like I thought Andrew Heaney looked really good for large periods of this game. And he only hit 76 pitches. Like he was efficient and still got 7 strikeouts.
Right.
Um,
He
and
gave up a home run to Pete Crow Armstrong, who
yeah,
might be MVP this year. You know?
I hope not.
I
Yeah, and like
don't
it's
know.
and Suzuki is
Yeah.
destroying the baseball as well. Like Suzuki is at
Right.
873 OPS. He's been fantastic. Like it's such a bummer to see, because like what's really fueled like this 500 stretch is the starting pitching. I think it's fourth in WAR in baseball since Don Kelly took over. Heaney has been shoving, like again, full run an ERA above his career. Falter is shoving. Mitch Keller is filling those innings. He's not been dominant, but he's been great. Paul Skeens has been the best pitcher in baseball. And so like I felt disappointed with this 500 streak because the pitching staff deserves so much more. Andrew Heaney did not deserve to take a loss tonight, and he
No,
did.
exactly.
It keeps happening.
When we signed Andrew Haney, we like, hey, he's going to be a fine fifth starter, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
We were counting on an ERA of 4.2, something along those lines. Maybe pitching in PNC will help him a little because if you're a crafty left-hander and you use that right, and get those right-handers just flying out to the north side notch, that sort of thing. But yeah, he's pitched way above what our expectations were. I would say he's pitched better than what Charrington's internal numbers would have
Oh yeah.
projected. So he's been really, really good. And again, what happens with this team is we lost 3-2. We want to say, gosh, he kind of scuffled there for one inning, but otherwise it was great. We want to put this, somehow put this game on Andrew Heaney, and it's not. This game squarely on the shoulders of Ben Charrington. you know,
Yeah.
that's where it goes in this horrid, dreadful offense. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's and okay, again, it's mid-June. It's time to do something about it, right? It's time. Like, you've waited, you've been patient, and the things you're
Mhm.
waiting for have not happened. So it's time to do something. And
Yeah. And
yeah,
it's just so frustrating because he's sitting at 1.6 B WAR. Andrew Heaney is, which would be the highest since 2018, where he put up 2 B WAR, also in 30 starts. He is tracking to be a 3 or plus WAR pitcher. At this point, you're just kind of hoping he sticks with this so he gets you something nice at the deadline.
right,
He
right.
is
But then
he has earned his way off this team come July.
yeah, yeah,
And I'll say this because we should try to find some positives. I am very surprised how much I've enjoyed seeing him pitch this year. Very surprised. I genuinely enjoy watching him pitch.
yeah. It's been fun
He's
watching him.
great.
Right. He's a good pitcher, and he's smart. He knows what he's doing. He gets right after it. He does all that stuff that we're always saying. He throws strikes. He doesn't fool around. He doesn't waste time. He doesn't try to get too cute. He doesn't get somebody 0-2 and then throw 3 balls because just and you're like, no, let's just go get the out. He trusts his defense, and it's not necessarily a trustworthy defense a lot of the time. So
Mhm.
yeah, I really have enjoyed. I get, in a real world with a real owner and a real general manager to be like, wow, we should extend this guy. We shouldn't think about trading him at the deadline. Well, what a veteran left-hander that's pitching really well, has figured out how to use PNC Park.
Mhm.
Would be a good guy around with all these young guys that we have. Somebody they can learn from, somebody they can talk to. So yeah, but yeah, exactly. The hope now is that somehow Ben Charrington, who he will trade him for the equivalent of Tommy Pham out there if there's another such thing, and it'll be a middle infielder that can't play shortstop, not a very good fielder, and also can't hit. So
Yeah.
I can
Well,
see Hoy
and I
Park
mean,
coming our way.
and Heaney is like not young, so like honestly, if we were thinking about an extension, like we could, that's probably something we could get done.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. You could
I
extend him for
imagine
two
that they were going to
years, and right.
prioritize the deadline acquisition.
Hmm.
One more thing we can talk about because he deserves his flowers. I think we were talking about this post show, and that is the pit legend himself, Isaac Matson, who comes in. I was skeptical again that he got the seventh in a 1 run game, and he went out 1.2 innings, no hits, a single walk. Isaac Matson was nails again.
Yeah. I think when he was called up the first time, we just sort of thought it's a sweet story. The local kid makes
Mhm.
good. He's from the area. He went to Pitt. And I don't think we thought he'd be making significant contributions. But I mean, shoot, that game the other night, where where he was like, responsible. He comes in, he's got Haney left. That was the game that Haney left with the calf. And he's
Mhm.
got 2 balls and 0 strikes and bases loaded and nobody out, I think, and gets out of it. Right. Then tonight, he's pitched really well. He deserves to be part of this bullpen right now. He has exceeded my expectations, by
Yeah.
a mile. So,
It should be clear. It's
yeah,
been 6 games. It's been seven point
yeah.
two innings. Like we
It's
let's go.
definitely a small sample size, our favorite kind of sample size to talk about. But
Yeah.
um, what he, but he's earning his spot, right? It doesn't look like they just brought him up, to use him in some mop up duty, that sort of thing. No, you've pitched him now in some crucial times, and he's come through. I'm not ready to bring him in the ninth inning with 2 guys on or anything like that. But I'm not as scared when he comes in as I am with some of the other guys. And I think that's the most I can hope for these days. Just not be scared to death when a pitcher comes in.
Oh, the expectations are so high around here.
Yeah. Our bar is very, very low. If he could just hit 220, we don't even want him to be average anymore. If he could just hit 220.
Well, I think we've pretty much run our course from this game.
I have a couple things. May I indulge for a second here? Okay. First of all, public service announcement. When the opposing pitcher throws over to first base, don't boo. We want that now, right? Because they can only do it twice. And then when they do it, our runner has an advantage. Yes, 3 years ago, when they throw over 10 times, it was annoying and you should boo. Now you should cheer when he throws over because you want him to throw over again. All right. So stop booing. You want to do something stupid at Pirates game, do the wave, but stop booing when the opposing pitcher throws over.
Doug, I'm going to stop you there. We're not promoting the wave on my show. On the show with me. It's not happening.
All right. Fair enough. And another thing, Gregory Hoyle asked a couple questions, and I highlighted both of them. He asked, does anybody really think Bob Nutting wants to win? And I will tell you this. I think Bob Nutting really, really, really wants to win. You're letting him off the hook by saying he doesn't care about winning. You're saying if he doesn't want to win, he's executing his plan perfectly. Oh, we're just muddling along, making just enough money where I can line my pockets. No, he wants to win, and he's a freaking idiot. He doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't know who to hire. He doesn't know when to fire them. He's a terrible businessman. He walked into daddy's big pile of money and has done nothing with it, right? He's hung on to his newspapers when nobody reads newspapers anymore. He's an idiot. He wants to win. He's terrible. Ben Cherington also wants to win. Ben Cherington is not making bad trades on purpose because he doesn't care. Ben Cherington is making the best trades that he knows how to make, the trades that he believes in. He sucks at his job. These guys want to win. They're terrible. By saying they don't want to win, you're saying they're being successful at what they're trying to do. Stop giving them that, credit. They're awful. Their goal is to win. Their goal is to do it cheaply. I'm not delusional, but they think that Ben Cherington is telling Bob, I can do it with this budget, Bob. Watch and see. He sucks at his job, and Bob Nutting sucks at it as being an owner and as a businessman. So, and also Vern Law. Yes, Vern Law should be in the Pirates Hall of Fame. So the Deacon, right? Yeah, Vern Law. I think the Pirates' last Cy Young winner until Doug Graybeck, 1960. I think that was the World Series year. And that's all. Sorry. It's my birthday. Suck it, Bob Nutting. Suck it, Ben Cherington.
I'm just imagining that scene from Blazing Saddles where like the guy gets up in front of the church and he does his piece and the guy's like, who can argue with that?
Yeah.
Genuine Western gibberish.
Exactly.
Yeah, nothing.
Where's Madeline Kahn when I need her?
No lies were detected there. I think you're on the right track there, Doug. And you deserve to be frustrated.
But it drives me crazy when these people say, "Oh, Bob doesn't want to win. His plan is going exactly that's stupid. You're giving him a pass. Ben Cherington doesn't care if he gets a good return in trades. Of course he does. Ben Cherington would like to keep getting jobs in baseball. He'll eventually be fired from this one, and he would like to get other jobs. And what's he going to be able to say other than I drafted Paul Skeens? No, I acquired Tommy Pham. So these guys want to win. They're terrible. They're idiots. They're clowns.
That's the injustice in all of this is that Jerrington's going to get another job. He's just going to get a cozy front office job with no pressure or expectations like after this. So like he's going to
go somewhere to be a pitching consultant, right? Like, look, hey, I can identify pitching. And someone will hire him, but and it's an old boy network. It always has been. It always will be. Somebody that he hired as a scout who's now ahead somewhere. This or that'll hire, and it's fine. Hire him anywhere. I don't care. Just don't keep him hired here.
Yeah, fire Ben Cherington. Well said. And and I think we can all agree the biggest winner here is Derek Shelton because he does not have to be managing a Ben Cherington team.
Right. Ben Cherington hasn't better than us. He's getting paid and he doesn't have to watch the games, right? You know?
He's enjoying Mai Tais on the beach.
Yeah, exactly.
With his wife. Well,
his hair's probably returned to being black again. You know, it's probably not gray anymore. He's probably clean shaven. He probably looks good. Yeah. So.
Well, I'll go out and buy the the stick hitter or whatever like it is, but
yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you, Doug.
Get it for Tommy Pham. Yeah.
Thank you, Doug. Happy birthday again, man.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody that wished me a happy birthday. Yeah. Yep.
But we're gonna get out of here. Pirates lose 3-2. The never-ending nightmare continues in the season, and thanks everyone for joining. And let's go Bucks.
Yeah, let's go Bucks. Hey, I'll be here Saturday and Sunday with DiNardo if you're gluttons for punishment. So.
That's what we're here for.
Thanks, guys. Let's go Bucks.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.